What's going on, everyone? Jack here from Half Chrome, and this is the Contixo F28, and it's an inexpensive beginner drone that you can buy on Amazon. I'm going to tell you what I like about this thing, and I'm going to tell you what I don't like about this thing. If you're new to the channel, we do honest reviews. Yeah, they sent this drone to me to review for free, but I don't like it, and I'm going to tell you everything I don't like about it. Stay tuned. All right, so let's talk about this thing. It is a mini drone, or at least it looks like a mini drone, but it's actually over 250 grams, which means if you're in the United States, you have to register this with the FAA. It's gonna cost you $5, and it's subject to remote ID, which happens in September of 2023, which basically means you're gonna wait for Contixo or whoever they are to update this so you can fly it legally. Probably not going to happen, but who knows, maybe I'm wrong. Let's talk about the camera. It's a 2K camera, and it looks like it's on a gimbal, but it's not. We do have some dampening, we have some isolation dampeners here, but this camera is going to get you some shaky footage. It's not processing it. It's not doing anything to help stabilize the footage. You're just going to have to find a windless day and fly super slow and then pray for good footage. You know, pictures are going to be a little bit better, but still not great. I mean, it's not a high quality camera. It's not a high quality sensor. So there's that. But let's say that's not your thing. You just want to fly for fun. It's got a lot of intelligent flight modes. It's got an orbit. It's got a follow me. It's got all sorts of stuff. I tested those out. The optical follow didn't really work. The GPS follow kind of works sometimes. All right, so here I am setting up that optical follow or the image follow, right? So you kind of select your subject, and then you make sure you're between 3 meters and 10 meters. And it's supposed to, kind of follow you. And you get this big green box on the screen, and it's going to kind of show you like, oh, hey, there's your subject on the screen. But then it's up to you to kind of fly the drone. It isn't going to move, right? It's just going to sit there and kind of wait for you. It just doesn't center the target. Not great. Now here is a GPS follow, right? And the difference here is you put it up in the air and then it's just going to follow your phone. And this did work. And this has actually worked okay for the most part. It lost me a couple of times. I had some issues getting out of this mode, but you can control the drone while it's following you, which actually is a pretty nice feature. I had issues getting in and out of modes, right? So I put it up and I did like an orbit or a point of interest, as they call it, but I couldn't get it to stop. Then I lost connectivity with the app. It was kind of a disaster. I'm sure there's a way to do it, and I fly tons of drones, as you can see, and it just isn't intuitive in the app. I was pushing all sorts of buttons on the remote, and nothing would get it to stop. And eventually I just hit the return to home, and it came home, so that works. But I just want an intelligent or intuitive way to stop a drone when it's doing one of those modes. I don't want to have to remember what that button is. I want it to be something like a pause button or a stop button that I just hit and it stops. Because when you're doing things like that, you don't have time to remember what sequence or what hidden menu item you need to select to get your drone to stop. You should just be able to stop, or you should be able to just take the controls and move it manually, which I could not do in that orbit. Now I could manually adjust it while it was doing the follow me or the GPS follow, not the optical follow. So there's that. Now I got 2 batteries with this. The first battery lasted me about 8 minutes, and then it told me it needed to land, even though my battery showed about 75% capacity with these lights, or more than 50 anyway. And then my second battery wasn't depleting at all on my screen. It just always showed 100%. So I don't know, they say you've got 30 minutes of flight time. You wouldn't, right? You'd probably have more like 18 is probably my guess on a good battery if it was legit. And they say about 1,700 feet is your range. Now I didn't push it, probably close to that. I did push it to that, right? That's like a quarter of a mile. And I did have connectivity, at least functionality from the controller to the drone. I did lose video a couple of times doing some of the different flight modes, so there's that. Overall, is this a drone I'd recommend? No, not for 200 bucks. If this was a $100 drone or less than 150, yeah, that's about what you get here. Now they make a F28 Pro. I don't know that it's going to be much better. You'll probably get a little bit better range. The camera is supposed to be 4K, but it's probably upscaled 4K, right? So maybe it's a little bit better, but that one's $300. You can get a lot of good drones for 300 bucks. So let's say you have 200 bucks, you want to buy a drone. Nope. What would I recommend? Well, I do like this. This is the C-Fly Faith Mini, and it's less than $200. It has a full 3-axis gimbal and some intelligent flight modes as well. It's pretty darn stable. I like this for less than $200. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. No drone is going to be perfect for 200 bucks. The next step up is the Mini 2 SE. The DJI Mini 2 SE is a great beginner drone. Now it's $340. I did a mini drone comparison. So if you want a small drone but you want good footage, I have a video comparing the C-Fly Mini, which is like 200 bucks, the DJI Mini 2 SE, which is just over 300, and then this big dog here, the best of the best in terms of small drones. This is the DJI Mini 3 Pro. So if you want to see what those look like and how they compare, yeah, compare them to the Contixo F28. You know, and if you find that the footage from the F28 is better, go ahead and buy that. But, you know, you definitely want to do your research. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. Good luck, everyone, and happy flying.